So it's the first week of the new year, 2023, and Jim is driving me to the urgent care, Eisenhower Urgent Care. For 3 days now, I have been incredibly dizzy, and I never get dizzy. Do you remember me ever getting dizzy?
No.
And you don't get dizzy. I mean,
I get lightheaded every so often, just for brief little spells. But
I can probably count on one hand how many times I've gotten dizzy in my life. I never get dizzy, but to be dizzy for 3 days now, solid. And it's like sitting here right now, I'm not too dizzy, but if I move my head real fast, or just not even fast, just move it side to side or up and down, it's just unbelievable. I feel like I'm just tipping over. In fact, when I stand up and try to walk anywhere, I have to hold on to things because otherwise I'll just tip over or fall over. And it's been like that for 3 days, so we figured it's probably a good idea to go to the urgent care and just see what's going on. And at first, the first night it happened, I was in bed, and I just felt like the whole bed was tipping upside down and twirling around, and I thought, and I couldn't lift my head. Every time I lift my head, I would fall back on the pillow, and I thought maybe I was having a stroke or something, but I don't think it's a stroke. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But to make it even worse, I've also got a pain, a really bad pain, in my lower abdomen, the right-hand side of my lower abdomen, and they started at the exact same time. So I thought, well, maybe they're related in some way, and I just assumed that the pain is probably from kidney stones. I've had kidney stones for the last 40 years. They started in my 20s, and I haven't had one in a long time. It's probably been, maybe 10 years since my last kidney stone?
as far as I think, where you've had to have something, go take it out.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. They don't pass on their own. My kidney stones get so big they can't pass on their own, so they have to be removed, which is just unbelievable. But that's a whole other story. And it's been a long time because I started taking potassium citrate. Apparently, that really helps with some types of kidney stones. I have I think calcium oxalate, which is the most common, and one of the things that causes those is not having enough potassium, I guess, in your system. And so once I started taking those 10 years ago, I really haven't had any large kidney stones since then. And so I'm not sure if this is a kidney stone. In the past, every time I would have one, it would usually be, where the kidneys are, and they would get trapped when they started to come down the little tiny tube, and it was a constant excruciating pain. Where this pain, when I'm sitting down, like right now, I don't have any pain right now at all. When I'm laying down, I don't have any pain, but as soon as I stand up or try to walk, I have, well, it's not excruciating pain, but it's definitely a pain. And it doesn't go away when I'm standing up or moving. And when I was going online, it looked like appendix, I think, appendicitis. They were saying that often is you only have the pain when you stand up or try to walk. So, and that is where the appendix is located. So I'm thinking maybe it's that. So another reason to go in right now before if it is appendicitis, before it bursts, then it becomes a huge problem. And so this, if it is that, I guess they could just take it out and it's not as big a problem. So I'm kind of a mess starting out the new year. There's now Dr. Jim went online last night and he was researching different things that make you dizzy when your head moves. Because I was telling him I almost fell down last night. I reached over to kiss him, and then I turned my head back to go sit on the couch, and I just completely was so dizzy I lost my balance and fell over. Luckily I fell onto the couch and not onto the floor. And I told him, I said, it's only when I only get really dizzy when I turn my head, especially if I do it fast, if I go from one direction to the other, or if I lay down in bed. I've noticed as soon as I lay down in bed, even if I don't move my head, the whole room just starts turning upside down. It's just very strange. So it looks like we're here. Hopefully it's not going to be too crowded. They don't open until 8 o'clock, and it's just about, it's 8 o'clock, so I don't know where Jim's going. I think he passed it. Oh, you're going to go over here. So anyway, Dr. Jim thinks that it's something called BPPV, which is, do you remember what that stands for?
It's benign something vertigo.
Okay. And he showed me the articles that he found last night, and it definitely sounds like that. So we'll see what the doctors say. So So we'll know in a little bit. It's packed. Every spot here is taken. I can't believe it. They're open? Huh?
Put your mask on.
Yeah. Thank you, Jen, for waiting for 4 hours. It took us 4 hours. The last time I was there, I was in and out in about a half hour. I thought these places were really fast. I guess maybe today was especially busy, being the first week of the new year. So anyway, here's what the doctor said. They did a CAT scan or CT scan and EKG. They said both of those came back perfect. I have absolutely no issues, at least, that they could see, with my heart, because I guess that could be one cause of this, the dizziness. And no issues with the CT scan was for the abdomen. And I guess because of my symptoms, I was wondering why they didn't even do anything with my head in case I had a stroke, but I guess maybe I don't have any of the symptoms of a stroke. And so both of those tests came back perfect. So she says the most likely thing is that I got some kind of virus. She said you probably got she said the most common virus that causes this a lot, I guess this is fairly common, is called the labyrinth virus, which I guess it causes inner ear kind of problems. And then I told her about the BPPV, and she goes, well, it could be that. She goes, there's no way for us to test to see which one it is, but she says it could be. She goes, it even could be COVID. Because I asked her, I said, because while I was waiting in there, I was looking up dizziness and stuff, and COVID kept coming up. That's one of the major causes, is dizziness. And she said you could have gotten COVID, very mild dose of COVID or this labyrinth virus. And she said there's no way to really know at this point what caused it, but she said the labyrinth causes, she said the two things that came up at the same time was the abdominal pain. She says definitely not kidney stones, because it doesn't, I guess they did all the tests and the urine tests, and doesn't have anything that you would have, I guess, if you had a kidney stone. And she said it's definitely not the appendix. She said it's definitely not the appendix, and the appendix is fine. So she says it's some kind of virus. More than likely it's the labyrinth virus. Most of the things I was reading online, it says eventually whatever these are will take care of themselves and just go away. If it doesn't, I said, well, what do you do if after a week or two it doesn't go away or doesn't take care of itself? She goes, well, then you can call your doctor. But she said, basically, you're fine. You don't have anything. It's just, she goes, the most likely thing is some kind of a mild virus that's causing both of those. And I guess they'll just resolve themselves in a week or so. So I guess we'll see. And my only real concern was, did I have a stroke? I mean, because to be dizzy, really dizzy all day long, every day for 3 days, that's like weird. I mean, that seems like it could be a stroke or something. But she said, no, definitely wasn't a stroke. And definitely wasn't nothing wrong with my heart and nothing wrong with my appendix. So those were the only things I was concerned about after 3 days of this.
When is the pain supposed to go away?
That's what she said. It's just like a virus that'll go away, and she said, it should be gone in a week or so. And everything I read online said these virus things should just take care of themselves in a week or two. So, good news, I guess. It's been 3 days now since we went to urgent care, and it's been just about a week. Tomorrow will be 1 week since I started having my intense dizziness, which has lasted all day long, every day for the last week, and the pretty intense pain in my lower right abdomen. It's still pretty much a mystery why I was having either of these problems, but in the last day or so, the dizziness has really gotten to be a lot less. For the first few days, I really could hardly walk without tipping over or falling over or just falling down, but it's a lot less than it was. So each day seems to be a little bit less. All I can guess is that the abdomen pain, maybe I twisted something, pinched a nerve or something. As far as the intense dizziness, maybe it was just a result, as the doctor said, of a mild virus. Never heard of anything like that before. Have any of you experienced dizziness for about a week where it just doesn't go away at all? Anyway, I have no idea. I guess this will just be a mystery. If you guys can shed any light on this mystery, if you've had similar situations, let me know how you deal with it. This week I want to give a special shout out to a viewer and subscriber who made a really nice, very, very generous donation to my channel using YouTube Super Thanks, and his subscriber goes by the name User. And then a long string of numbers and letters, which I'm not going to include. But User, thank you. You know who you are. I appreciate it so much. Until next time, stay healthy, everybody.